surprised what happens. You know what happens when we start talking?
It's actually quite casual with the tea, isn't it? It was a genuine tea, but it's actually quite a nice prop. You are out angering me again now because I'm trying again.
I know, but I can't sit back.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I have my coach Dan Welburn with me today, who you will definitely know if you do follow my journey on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. You've been on the channel already 3 times?
Yeah, she's let me back on, finally.
I've let him back on. He's learned how to speak on camera now, so we're all good. So I won't do like too much of an introduction, but basically Dan's my prep coach, has been for nearly 2 years now.
Yeah.
And Jay just coaches girls to get on stage.
Yeah, it's just my job, isn't it?
Just your job,
That's
isn't it? He just gets people in shape and gets them on stage.
Swords.
Dan is a prep coach, and he is head coach, owner, director, CEO.
Oh, it's grown.
Of Team DW. So we thought we would do, we've already done like Q&As, we've already done a little bit of a video on first timers advice, so if you are looking for either of those 2 things, check out my channel. But today we wanted to do something a little bit different, and we came up with the idea.
You came up with the idea.
I think
it's a good idea though, to be fair.
Great idea. So you guys might have seen on YouTube like asking my mum things that you're too afraid to ask your own mum or whatever. We're doing our coach version, which is asking my coach things that you're too worried or you feel like you're bothering your coach with, or you don't want to go to your own coach with. So you being the honest person that you are, I'm bloody excited for this.
I'll tell you.
You tell us straight some of the questions you're going to wish you never asked. So we have the questions pulled up on my phone. I actually did it on that not gonna lie thing, so it was anonymous, which means that people actually grew a pair of balls.
No, they didn't grow a pair of balls, because they did it anonymous.
They didn't grow a pair of balls.
They didn't need no balls.
So, lots of different sort of questions, all about preps and coaches and things like that. So we'll just get stuck in. There is literally no order on this, it's just the order that I print screened. So, first question. My coach seems really hit and miss at coming back to me. Sometimes on check-in days it will take a day or 2 to respond. Sometimes he'll ask me something and I will answer and he will not reply until the next check-in. Is this normal? I paid a lot of money and now I feel like 12 weeks in, my coach cannot be bothered.
It's not normal for me, I don't think. So I can only really say what I do, and as you know how I operate anyways. But for me, I just think it's important to have same day response, definitely. So I'll always say I'll be back within 24 hours, which just means the same day. So if you check in at 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever, I'll always be back for 6 o'clock latest on the night, really. Depends what my working day is like. I'll never
always same day.
Yeah, it's always same day. I've never gone into the next day with anybody just because. Well, it's just bad. It's just not good.
I think that's bad in any coaching situation, but obviously on a sort of prep or a bodybuilding journey, I think it is important.
Yeah, especially at prep, because, well, it's a moving vehicle and you need to make changes as you go in, and you can't have somebody who's saying not made any progress for whatever, or something stalling, or they've got a problem, and then you're waiting 2, 3, 4 days, whatever, for a response.
So bad. And obviously the closer you get to show as well, like you will prioritise people who are close to show, won't you? Yeah,
so how I actually work my own check-ins is, I'll get a bundle through in a day, so I get 20 odd through in a day, whatever it is. I actually start from the people that are on prep, so I'll have people that are on prep, people that are maybe doing a diet for a photo shoot, whatever, and then off-season people, and I start with the people on prep, and I start with the people that are the closest to the show as well, because I obviously know where they all are in respect to the show. And I start with the people very closest to the show, and I'll just work my way backwards from that.
Yeah.
And then go through.
As a client, that's perfect, because when you're close to show and you're anxious and you know that there's going to be changes, like not frequently, but like it's more.
You just want to know.
You just want to know. You don't want to be waiting around for a day or 2. So if you're waiting around 2 days for your check-in and you're not happy with that, then you need to say something or change.
Yeah, it's going to burn your head out, isn't it? So part of looking after athletes when they're getting ready for bodybuilding competitions is keeping them calm as well, keeping the stress down.
That would stress me out waiting 2 days.
So if you're going to stress them out, if you're going to leave them a little while to get back to them for that. So yeah, for me that's not something I would
Another
do.
thing I will note is that when you are looking into coaching with anyone, just make sure that you are aware of what their systems and their response times are.
Yeah.
If a coach tells you before you start that it will be a 2-day response, then you're an idiot for signing up, but at least you've been told.
Yeah, at least you know where you stand. I have had clients actually that when they've done the first preps for me, so they're used to getting the replies back at like 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and then they go back into the off season, and then obviously they're not on the thing, so the check-in will come back at like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, then they're like, have you forgot about me? I'm like, no.
You're
The orders moved.
Right, next one. Do you think that some people are predisposed to never losing weight?
Maybe mentally, yeah, maybe mentally. Obviously genetics is a factor. Genetics is a factor with anything we do, from losing fat to throwing a ball to whatever, do you know what I mean? Like,
some people are quite good at losing fat, like it happens quite easily,
yeah.
And some people are.
And some people struggle with it. I think especially more so it seems to be like if they've been a lot bigger when they were younger, and then fat cells are already there and everything like that, the more predisposed definitely to gaining it, and sometimes losing it as well. It's a little bit more of a struggle for them. But I think as a broad stroke through the middle, it's quite similar for a lot of people, unless you're really unlucky. But I think a lot of it's like, personally, I think it's mental genetics more than physical genetics.
Yeah. People think that they can't lose weight, and it doesn't help their mindset. Even just down to like the really simple things like just conserving energy. You know, like when you're tired and you're dieted, conserving energy and being like, I can't lose weight, I need to go down to X calories to lose fat. Yeah, and some people's bodies are more adaptive as well, which is sometimes not good. So the body like slows them down when they start trying to drop calories and lose body fat, so the body will actually slow everything down, which is not actually a good thing. It's a good thing if your body doesn't twig on, I suppose. But yeah, so that is an occurrence. But I think 9 times out of 10 it's mental genetics. People cheat and they lie, and they'll lie till they're blue in the face. And they're lying to themselves as well.
Yeah, they lie to themselves. Yeah,
lie to themselves.
I mean, you've read this 1,000 times and it's obvious. But like, if you've got a plan and it's a meal plan and you've got 50 grams of oats, don't have 57 grams of oats. If you've got
cardio to do, don't lean over the stairmaster.
Yeah, because all these little things add up. So you're trying to you're reducing your expenditure without realising, by being a lazy bastard, or you're doing this or that or whatever. You're eating more than you meant to, which you might think it's only little things, or a little handful of this, little something of that. Over the day, 200 calories up and you're out your deficit, and over the week you've fucked it and you're not losing any weight, and then you're moving a lot slower. And then, but you don't mention these things then to your coach, and then your coach is thinking, well, fuck, the food's going to have to come down or whatever. So then the food comes down, so then you're unnecessarily hungry and in a place where you shouldn't have been anyways. Then you start picking a little bit more, and you just end up in this cycle of your food getting dropped, your expenditure going up, you not actually doing it, bosh, then all of a sudden
your solution is, oh, I just have to drop my calories really low so I'll lose weight.
Yeah, and then these are the fuckers usually that saying like, oh, I had to eat 800 calories to get, but you want actually
and 2 hours of cardio leaning over the machine.
Yeah, generally full of shit.
Yeah, no, obviously genetics and health markers, they do play a massive part, like people's history and genetics and stuff like that, but I would say, even on a coaching lifestyle perspective, a lot of it is. Yeah,
that turned into a rant, sorry about that. I feel like I must have been holding that.
Get used to it.
I've been holding that.
You've been holding that in. So next question, it's another check-in one. If your check-in responses are minimal and your training plan hasn't been changed in over a year, is the coach just doing it for money?
Depends, doesn't it? Depends on the situation.
100% depends on my opinion.
If you've got, if your training plans got, they don't necessarily need to have an end to a training plan. A training plan can run for a long time. I think 9 times out of 10, a lot of changing training plan comes down to mental boredom, and they need to be more mentally stimulated in the gym, because your body don't get tired of an exercise, it just doesn't. But there's a lot of factors to play into it without going into it that you would need to like assess for things breaking down, and then before you go changing a plan that you might need to swap some exercises out basically for this and that. But 9 times out of 10 that's going to come down to mental boredom, which is fair, that is a thing. If you're a 5-minute Matthew and you need to change your training plan every 2 weeks, that's not good. But if you've been running the same plan for 6, 7, 8 months and you're bored to shit and you're not looking forward to training, just say, do you know what I mean? But
you're paying a coach at the end of the day. Like I always say this to my clients, that you're hiring me, so if you need to change or you have a question, just ask. And in regards to the slow or the minimal responses on check-ins, I think this again depends. It's all dependent. It's too many different scenarios to really take into account, really. Do you want to shut that? Yeah, I do want to shut that. I think it's person dependent, situation dependent.
person dependent, situation dependent.
When
like
you've worked with a coach for 3 years, it's not going to be so much. You're not going to say a huge amount to them, and they're not going to say a huge amount to you.
Yeah, and if you don't have many problems, then well done, keep going. Well done, keep going. Do you know what I mean? Especially in like off-season situations where, like realistically, a lot of it's checking in for accountability, and just a coach's job, especially for an off-season, just to make sure that your trajectory is correct, and it's optimal for what you're trying to do. So any problems that may arise, or just keeping you on course really, so you're not going in the wrong direction too fast. It's just kind of keeping people going. So a lot of off-season stuff is well done, keep going. Well done, keep going. And it depends. Obviously, some clients might want to go into like.
When you're new to bodybuilding, your responses will be a little bit more in depth. Like when I think back to my first prep, I probably had more questions than I have now. Now I don't have any questions really.
Yeah. So yeah, and it depends. I suppose it depends what you're looking for. Like if you're someone who wants to tell your life story on a check-in, then maybe you're too far on. But I do say this to my clients, and I say it when I set them up. The check-ins, the questionnaire, the answers don't want to be too long. They don't want to be too short. They need to be just right. So you don't want to be giving too little where your coach doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Good.
But you don't. Oh, yeah, good.
Okay.
Great. Which in some cases is okay, but like if you're just getting that every week, it's not great.
Yeah, no.
But then if you're getting like War and Peace, like coming through, or the Bible rewritten in its 7th edition.
A short novel.
The coach is trying to pick out the actual information that they need, and it actually makes it more difficult to find what you want, because you're trying to sift through all the shit that you don't need. So, and advice to like people, clients with coaches or whatever, is just give them what they need, and even ask the coach. I have clients ask me, is this enough? Is it not too much? Blah blah blah. And I love that, because then I can say yes or no or whatever, and get actual feedback on your checking if it's okay. And then you've got it. At the end of the day, you're trying to work with somebody on a level, and you've got to click.
It's not a dear diary, it is like an actual thing that you're paying for. Like you need to tell the coach this and this.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not a dear diary.
No, I say that on the setup. I say, you're paying me money to get the best out of me. I'm going to tell you exactly what to tell me to get the best, if that makes sense.
Okay, what is with all the secrecy in the industry around coaching prices? I would never apply for a job if I didn't know the salary, so I think it should be the same.
I don't think that actually makes sense, does it? But you mean you'd never go to buy something in a shop without knowing the price?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But some people are just a bit like, they say, oh, how much is your coaching? And then people will say, oh, DM me and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I don't know really. I suppose it's the same as like, I don't know, you'd never post on, yeah, I don't know really, to be fair, thinking about it. It is a good point.
I think one thing, like, I think coaches do this from a business perspective, because they want you to know what's included in the service before they tell you the price. Obviously coaching is expensive, so if you say to someone, oh, it's £170 a month, some people will go, oh, that's a lot, without even knowing much about the coaching. So I think sometimes it gives coaches an opportunity to let them know.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe.
And it's more for other coaches. Other coaches don't want other coaches knowing how much they charge.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't post that online, I don't know.
Really
nobody else does, so I don't do it.
Right, question for Dan. Do you have favourites and put more effort into them as clients?
No, I get this question actually.
Favourite.
You are? I do get this question actually, and there's a similar one in there, yeah? That's about people competing against each other and stuff like that, and if it's ever a problem. No, because from the coach's perspective, from my perspective, this is literally as straightforward as my brain goes, yeah? I'm just trying to, I know, you're laughing because I'm simple, yeah?
I love it.
So, I have a client, I want to make that client look the best they can possibly look, right? And then I put them on stage. Client B, I want to make them look the best they can possibly look, and then I put them on stage. So, it makes no odds who's what. At the end of the day, my job is to make someone look the best they possibly can, and then get them on stage, because that's my job. And like, if you're, I mean, I don't know if the question says this, but if I was like favouring client A over client B, would I then try and like give client B some more carbs so she was a bit more fat or something?
What, so that she competes against our
or try and make sure she comes like third, because I want that one to come like second or whatever.
No, you just can't be doing that.
No, it's just, that'd be the mental. My brain doesn't even work like that. I'm just trying to do the best job possible on every single client that I have. Because at the end of the day, that's my job, and that's my reputation as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, you wouldn't have someone get on stage looking bad just because you have another client who you like, and then.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's just
no.
it's not. It doesn't. Your brain doesn't like that.
You might have a little a better click with some people than others. That can definitely be a thing. But
just personality.
But personality, that exists within all humans, like amongst each other.
To a prep coach. Prep.
But at the end of the day, you're not here to like buddy high five. You're here to get a job done, and you get the fucking job done whichever way you can, you know.
Has your coach ever been ghosted by a client?
Yeah, once, maybe twice.
I've been ghosted by a client.
Of course, I've been ghosted, everyone. Yeah, I don't know why they do it.
No, I don't.
There is a word for these people though. Assholes.
True.
Yeah. If you're ever going to want to leave your coach, just fucking tell them. Like, just tell them, because you just make yourself look like an idiot, and it's just not very good. And karma is a motherfucker, and it'll probably come back round.
I always think that when people ghost a coach, I think, why have you done that? Because if you'd gone to the coach with the problem, no matter what the problem was, it may have been solved.
It almost certainly would have been solved.
It almost certainly will be solved.
Or
so what you've done is you've chucked 200 quid in the bin, ghosted that person, and they could have helped you.
Or it would have been resolved, as in like, we can't do that, blah blah blah. Maybe here's some money back because blah blah blah, and then on the way, whatever.
You might have even saved yourself some money.
Yeah, so don't be a dickhead.
You take on athletes from complete beginners, or do you require do you expect prior experience?
Prior experience. So obviously I'm a prep coach, and 99% of my clients are bodybuilders to a degree, whether they compete or not. So yes, pretty much. And in the past, obviously, when I've had someone come to me who was brand new and too new to it, I've kind of guided them maybe towards other coaches and things like that. How long ago now? 3 or 4 months ago, I took on a coach, which is one of my own clients, Amy, who's the...
Shout out Amy.
Shout out Amy. She's so Amy, who's the pro figure champion for PCA, and also was a very good coach. When I took her on, I didn't take her on to teach her, I took her on because she was already a good coach. And now Amy takes on prep clients, off-season clients. Then she takes on what we've called like transition clients, not gender. No, I don't think so anyway. Sorry, gender people. But so like people who just get, so she'll take anyone right from first steps into the gym, people who've been training a little bit but more lifestyle and then want to transition into bodybuilding. Yeah. And then obviously, so she's going right from beginning to end, whereas I kind of pick them up more as they're ready to compete and they've got some training experience. So
hardcore. Yeah,
we needed to accommodate for that because not everybody's ready to go. Do you know what I mean? Not everybody's there yet. And it seemed a shame to be passing up people with like good intentions to compete and things like that eventually.
Yeah, you want to get your hands on them, but just now is not the right time.
Yeah. Now would not be the right time for me, so that's why I brought Amy in as one of their roles to do that, and it's so far it's working really, really well actually.
I'm gaining weight too fast in my off season, nearly 1 kilo a week. How would you approach the subject with your coach that you want to pull back?
This might seem really complicated. Tell them. Just tell them.
Just tell them.
Just fucking tell them.
Just tell them.
So
some of these questions, I think, guys, you need to just grow a backbone and speak to your coach. At the end of the day, you're paying your coach.
I would much rather, it pains me to think that any of my clients would have any trouble coming to me to say that, like, we're gaining too much. And I know you've got to word it right, like, don't be a knob about it and say, like, you're not going to tell them, but just ask the question. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm getting a bit too fast, I'm a little bit too uncomfortable with it, which, to be fair, kilo week's too much for what I do anyway. Circumstantially, do you know what I mean? If you're coming out of a prep, going up a kilo a week.
Yeah, but in a standard off season.
If you're in a standard off season.
£2 a week.
Yeah, over £2.2 a week, it's a bunch. So I always try to keep like rate of gain lower than that, quite a bit lower than that, and very steady. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a mini cut faster than you went into your off season, because you're going to be too fat too quick, and a fat body's not an optimal body. So
you need to speak to your coach, basically.
Yeah, just speak to him and just say, look, pal, or love, or whoever it is, I'm getting too fat too quick and I don't fucking like it.
Is it okay to disagree with your coach in regards to supplements and assistance?
Assistance, what, like holding doors open and things?
Yeah.
Helping me tie my shoes?
Yes.
Of course
surely.
it is. Yeah, of course it is.
Like, don't be pressured into doing anything on a bodybuilding prep. I think sometimes as a client, talking as a client, you might feel like, just do anything. I'll do whatever it takes to get on stage. I'll do whatever it takes to win. But that's not the case. So if your coach comes to you and says, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, you need to pull that up.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but my approach is always the same to the assistance thing, not holding doors open.
Would you hold a door open for someone?
It depends.
Depends who they are.
No, I'll always hold doors open, I promise. Is just, so obviously the subject sometimes gets broached. Some people obviously don't even know about it, and I feel like sometimes, because what I've had is, I used to take people through the full preps, like, without mentioning a thing, right? Because I've got to think like, they should come to me if that's something they want to do. But then some people are absolutely not aware of it whatsoever, but do want to do it if they know about it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So what I used to have is, I have people getting to the end of the preps, get on stage, get the place in whatever, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever it might be, first, whatever, and then they'll be talking to people backstage, talking about things and this and that, and then they're like, you've been doing fucking what? And then they come to me and say, why didn't you fucking tell me about that, Dan? And I was like, well, it's not really my job. It's not really my place. So what I do now with everybody is, because I had that in the neck, like, I can think of at least 3 instances where that happened.
Yeah.
Even though they won the show as well.
Dan, did you know that there is such a thing called assistants?
Yeah. What is this assistance?
These girls have been telling me backstage.
Yeah, what's Clenavar? What's this? And then, so all I do now is I lay down the same things for people when they compete, and I'll say, look, I'm not telling you to take nothing, because I wouldn't tell anybody to take nothing, but here's your choices of X, Y, Z, whatever it might be, a few small things for the categories that we partake in, are fat burners and what have you, and very minimal. Do your own research on that, like, don't just take it from me, what I'm telling you, like, this is your options, what you could use. If you want to do that, let me know, and then we can have a conversation about that. But I'm not telling you to take it. I'm also not keeping you in the dark. So you're about to go through a 16 to 20 week prep, and then you realise it could have been a lot different to what obviously it would have been naturally and what have you. So that's how I lay it down for everybody now. Right or wrong, not sure, but that's the way I do it. Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah, 100%. Do you ever want to give up on a client if they're not hitting their weekly targets?
I want to stab them to death.
You're a prep coach. You're a prep coach.
No, I'm only joking. Weekly targets, probably
every so often, whatever, like, happens.
Yeah, things happen. So I'm a prep coach, so I don't get too many people pissing around. Not compared to lifestyle. People do piss around, obviously, but what's the question? Do I ever want to give up on them? No, I don't want to give up on them, but the only time I want to give up on somebody is when they're lying, and I know they're lying, and they know they're fucking lying, and they're still lying, and then you get into this like situation which is just impossible. That's the only time I ever actually want to give up on somebody. If somebody keeps knacking on the diet, I don't want to like get rid of them or fuck them off or whatever.
No, you wouldn't be like, oh, you were cheating on your diet, so go away.
No, I would want to help them or give them some more achievable goals, whatever that might be, to like do.
But the worst thing is when you know a client is cheating and
you know they're cheating. Like, we're not stupid. I've been doing this like what, 12, 13 years or whatever, like non-stop. I know when someone's messing about the diet, like, you're human the same as everybody else. The same rules apply. So like, there's no, do you know what I mean? It does drive me mad when people don't tell me.
Okay, is it worth telling your coach about missing your period?
In a word, yes.
Yes. Definitely. I would say it's probably very key. What is the worst thing a client can do? One word? Lie.
Lie. Yeah. Thanks for queuing, because I didn't know what that was. We've just been through that. Lie.
The worst thing. People think the worst thing that you can do on a bodybuilding prep is cheat on your diet or not do cardio or whatever, but actually it's just lying.
Yeah. Just to touch back into that, like, you're both working on one thing, right?
Yeah.
So, example, me and Georgie is working on exactly the same thing, which is her physique. It's a dual job. She's doing the graft, I'm giving the instruction, right? So if you was both working on building an house, and then every time you got up to the 7th course of bricks, one of you just started throwing bricks off the house, but didn't tell the other one. He waited for the other guy to go home, and just started throwing bricks off. Then every morning the other guy come back and was like, why is this house not getting any fucking higher? Don't know, mate. Fucking don't know. I left when you left. I went straight to pub. It's literally the same thing. Very good
analogy. I love it.
It's literally the same thing. Or driving a bulldozer through the front of it. I don't know, but
it is literally the same thing.
It's the same thing. You're both working on the same thing, so it makes no sense. So all you're going to do is end up with one pissed off person. The other person's not getting results. The other person knows why, and then the other person, It's literally stupidity, and I don't care how frightened you are to tell them.
That's what it is. People are just afraid of.
Then you shouldn't be with that coach.
Okay, opinions on coaches dating clients.
Touchy subject.
Touchy subject in the current affairs.
Yeah. So obviously the straightforward answer would just be to say no, don't do that. But like, I suppose it's similar to any work environment. The thing is, the waters have been so muddied by people that have acted so badly, basically.
Yeah, unfortunately there is such a bad negative stigma with it now.
Within the industry. But I think if you're getting to know a person, and then you get a bit of a click and a bit of a thing, and like something starts to spark up, that's like a normal human thing to happen. And that
over a period of time.
Yeah, over a period of time, and that happens all the time. If it's something that's happening like repetitively,
yes.
and they're sending pictures of their appendages through WhatsApp, that's probably not a good thing to multiple people. But like, there is a big difference between dating clients, and should say clients as opposed to clients. If you're dating multiple clients at once, that's probably not good either.
Yeah, I think just use your brain with that. Like, if you see a young boy dating clients and he has a lot of female clients and there's a lot of
any age, but yeah, just
whereas somebody who could just genuinely have a click with someone, like you said,
that's a normal human thing. Yeah,
if somebody hired somebody else and they got to know each other and they got on really well and dated, that wouldn't be an issue.
No, it won't be an issue. It's just
I think it just gets a bit weird because you're in your underwear all the time.
Yeah, because you're in your pants and that, and it's a different, like I say, it is a very random industry, I suppose, when you think about it. But yeah, I think normal human stuff, yes. Constant, like, what's the word, bartering your clients for sex, and if they're sleeping with all different people and stuff, that's obviously terrible.
Terrible. Use your brain, people.
Yeah, and I suppose it needs to be a cautious one as well, because
it's risky business. It would have to be for the right person.
Yeah, and like, I suppose if you're the coach and you're then approaching the clients a bit like, then you're putting the client in an awkward situation as well. So yeah, it's tricky business, but I don't disagree with it. It's just you need to be very, very specific and careful.
If you find the love of your life, then yeah. But if you're just looking for a good time, and a long time, then no.
Yeah.
I love this question. What does Dan have against pink bikinis?
I don't have anything against pink bikinis, just the one she bought.
So background story, basically, I prepped with a different coach in 2020. And I had a bikini made, bearing in mind I was so, not new to bodybuilding, but I just had no guidance from anyone. My coach didn't tell me yes or no, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge deal, by the way, but it's just something that's become a deal. Yeah, she still won in a shit bikini.
It just had no gems on it and it was really light, so it just makes no sense in terms of on stage. Like, on stage you want something that is eye-catching but isn't, like, when you put a light bikini it washes you out, right?
Yeah, for me not even that, it's just a contrast with a tan. So some colours, if they're too light, especially like baby pink like that was, like the way it sits with a tan's not necessarily great, do you know what I mean?
The tan was all over the fucking bikini as well, guys.
Yeah, so it's not like the pink, I'm not going to have against the colour pink. It's just that particular bikini was really light, it didn't look great with the tan, and then especially with the blonde hair as well, it
was not a vibe,
was it? It was not a vibe, yeah, that's what I was trying to think.
But we have got a pink bikini this year and it's such a better pink.
There you go, and I love this pink, so there's your clickbait.
There you go, he likes the pink bikini. Okay, do you tell people when they are ready for stage when you know they are in the back? Oh, let me start that question again, apologies. Do you tell people they are ready for stage when you know in the back of the head they are not?
No. No, I don't know.
Surprise, surprise, I don't actually do that. Dan, right, this is one thing about Dan, guys. He doesn't just put people on stage to put people on stage. If you're not, like, the reason you have good results is because the people that get on stage are good. Because you let them be good. You don't just put shit on stage. No,
sometimes I've had to delay shows for people that not necessarily things like life problems that might have been thrown at them that's delayed the prep a little bit, or this or that, or whatever it might be. There might be an off plan on the diet because this and that or whatever, whatever, do you know what I mean, all different circumstances. I've delayed people's competitions multiple times, pushed them back 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever it might be that they need to get to where they need to be. But at the end of the day, the client doesn't always know what's going off because prep ed,
you don't need to.
You don't really know what you're looking at.
I'd rather you just cracked on.
Yeah. You don't really know if it's this or that. I mean, everyone worries about being ready anyway. Like, literally everybody thinks they're not ready. That's normal.
Prep brain.
Yeah, prep brain. But yeah, you need to do right by your clients. You know what I mean? Even if that might mean swallowing some of your pride sometimes and them not being ready as fast as you anticipated.
But you don't just put things on stage for no reason.
Nah. Okay.
Like, that is just one thing that I really enjoy. People are like, oh, his clients are so good. Why? Yeah, because you're picky.
Well, yeah, because I'll put on when they're ready, yeah.
As in not picky with the client, just picky with the look. Okay, we kind of already answered that one about being competitive towards DW. Just kind of touching on that, someone asked about the competitivity? Is that a word?
Competitive amongst my clients.
Yeah, does it get awkward between my clients? Like, from obviously you've spoken about your side of things, it's just body A on stage. For me, like being part of Team DW, obviously there's loads of girls now, I don't think it's competitive at all. Like, I never get a weird vibe with any of the other girls. Like, I think some people think bodybuilding's really bitchy, but it's not. There are some bitches, but there's some bitches in life.
Yeah, that's, again,
do you know what I mean? It's just life.
Humans.
But there's no, like, animosity, I wouldn't say, against people. Like, I literally love it when your clients win.
Yeah, she's absolutely buzzing, yeah. She's there taking all the photos for me and everything.
Remember when Lee won the overall at the finals? People thought that I'd won because I was celebrating her winning.
Yeah, I know.
People were like, did you think it was her number? I was like, no, I was just buzzing for Lee.
Yeah, people did ask me that. I was like, no, I think she was just buzzing because she won. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never had a bad vibe from between people anyway. I'm sure there might be people like secretly competing against each other, but there's never a bad vibe in the camp that I'm aware of.
Oh no, there's no bad vibe from me, nor from my, but then again, I'm good on my team. Right, I'm not going to read this whole question out because it will be very obvious, but my coach takes 4 days to reply to my check-ins and I feel like they have more time for other athletes. What do I do?
Same as a lot of the other questions. Ask them. So like, bring it up.
Bring it up.
Again, is that what you signed up for? Have you signed up for a week's response time or whatever? Or have you signed up for it? What does it say in the advertising? Did you ask that question to start with? But in general, especially for prep, 4 days is
too long.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You shouldn't be waiting. You should not be waiting that amount of time on a prep. It doesn't matter who the coach is. It doesn't matter how popular they are. If they're charging good money, well, even regardless of charging good money, you should not be waiting 3-4 days for a check-in. It's absolutely ridiculous.
So let me tell a little story now. Sad story.
Time
It's very sad. No, so I think it was April. It was April the 1st anyway, because I remember because it was April's Fool's Day, but it wasn't a fucking joke. Friday is a check-in day for me. It was a Friday. My dog was seriously unwell, my little bulldog, bless her. And she'd been unwell, took her in the vet's Thursday night or whatever. No, sorry, I had to take her to the vet's Friday morning. So this is a check-in day, busy check-in day as well. I took her to the vet's Friday morning to get an operation, which was, well, it doesn't matter what it was. She had to get an operation. Basically, they went in. I was running. I'm feeling sad now. I'm saying this. Aww. She was running an operation. I was doing my check-ins while I was at home, going back to pick her up, etc. The vets rang up, told us that she had terminal cancer in her lungs. Her lungs was collapsing, and that we had to go and put her down.
And she's like a family dog.
Yeah. So we went to the vets. I had to put my dog down, my little bulldog. She was only 7 as well. She didn't even deserve to die. She was too young to die. And then put the dog down. I had to deal with that. Obviously, my missus, everything else that was upset. I came home from the vets from putting my dog down, which was obviously very, very sad. If anyone's ever done that, they know how bad that is. And then finished off my check-ins for the day. I did it all by text. I didn't do any voice notes that day. I finished it all by text, but I told everyone that I was going to be a little bit late. And I finished my check-ins on that Friday. Finished at 11 o'clock at night, mind you.
But the
check-ins was fucking done because I want everybody's check-ins back the same day, and I'll never drop on my service no matter what's going on. And that's one of the most extreme things that happens in people's lives when they happen to get
it done.
Yeah, it got done. So
yeah, I just think there's never really an excuse for no check-ins on that day, especially for prep clients. Okay, we know you will always support G with everything, but did you secretly think that? Did you secretly think that you wished her to stay PCA Pro and that she belonged on the pro stage when she did the whole giving up my pro card stint? Yeah,
of course I wanted her to stay on the PCA stage. But again, this is, I suppose, another example of you've got to support what they want at that time. In my head I was thinking, fuck no. But this is their journey. At the end of the day, Georgie's got like the example she gave at the time, which was completely correct, and which I did agree with as well. The principle of it. She's competed last year. She's competed this year, and then that's probably going to be it. Yeah, she'll never do shows again. So this is our own time to create memories, stage time, make the most of her physique, all these other things that she's doing. So I completely understood the principle of what she was saying. So I backed her up. I will back people up with what they want to do. Do you know what I mean? Unless it's something completely stupid, then I'll say my point. But Did I want to stay in the PCA Pro League? Of course I fucking did. That's where she belongs. But I still supported her with a decision because that's her decision, you know.
Well, we're back on the pro prep now.
And then she changed her mind anyway. Which we won't talk about.
Okay, this is a really nice one. Dan, you're my favourite coach to follow. I cannot believe how many you help towards achieving their dream. I follow a lot of coaches, and something all your clients seem to have in common is that they are genuinely happy. Are you a real life magician coacher, or do you just attract the right client?
I don't know. I don't know.
You are right though, we all have a vibe.
Yeah.
Like, prep is just prep, innit? We just get on with it, and everyone's happy, no one's moaning.
Maybe I just get on with happy people, maybe that's what it is.
You just attract the right clientele.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, I honestly don't know. I just always feel very lucky that I get like a good bunch of girls, to be honest. And maybe I just don't get on with the ones that are maybe not like that and then they leave, I'm not sure, to be fair. But yeah, I am always blessed. I've said that for years as well, since, because I used to coach from the gym floor, I never did any online work. And even the girls that I got in the gym that was competing, fucking cracking bunch of girls.
I think it's the vibe that you give off, it attracts the similar vibe.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think that's why it works so well.
Your vibe is your tribe, what is it? Vibe attracts your tribe.
Vibe attracts your tribe. Okay, is there ever a bad place to start a prep? Have you turned people down for being too out of shape to start a prep?
Yeah, of course. Well, not turned them down, just told them no, you're not doing that yet because it's too soon, you're too fat. So
diet, come away.
Yeah. So everybody needs to get to a preppable place before they start a show. You can't just, it's not just like, right, let's just do 50 weeks
you
prep.
On the street, you can prep.
Yeah, you can't you can't do that. So if someone comes and they want to prep and they've got too much body fat to come off, it's generally just going to be a case, because you've got to remember your calories are going to be in a real nice place when you start prep. Your health's got to be in a nice place when you start prep, and your body's got to be in the right place to start prep with the right amount of body fat to take off in a certain amount of time to get the certain look that you want. Your life's got to be in the right place as well, really, which I don't always step in with, but I can sometimes pick up on things that is, if they're giving me it in the check-in, do you know what I mean, this has happened, that's happened, maybe it's not the right time to prep. So all these factors have got to take into consideration. You can't have someone that's about to lose the job, 60 pounds overweight, calories are at 1800 a day, fucking...
What do you do with that?
Yeah.
You're not going to get on
stage. You can't do that. And even if you could do that, it's not the best way to do it.
Just wait.
So it goes back to people being put on stage that all look great and all the rest of it. Everything starts with the off season and where you're building from over here. So I hate it when people come to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm 18 weeks out. Can I start a prep with you?" And I'm like, because it all depends if the variables are in place to do the prep properly. And if someone comes and it's not, then it's not ideal. Do you know what I mean? So the end results, not just the prep. It's all the pre-prep work that went into it. So usually I'm with people for like at least 6 months before a prep starts, usually more, maybe a year, etc., to get them into that perfect place. And that's why a lot of it comes out great. The show look is usually great, and then the reverse.
3 years of hard work.
Yeah, the reverse 9 times out of 10 is great, because that end product, I mean, a lot of people struggle post-show, yeah, which is a common thing and it's a normal thing to happen. But we try to alleviate that to the maximum by all the pre-work that goes into it. So your off-season's designed so that your prep's good. Your prep's designed so that your reverse is good. Your reverse is designed so that then your off-season leads into be good. And it all is one big constant thing. It's not just, oh, get me ready for a show in 15 weeks, I'll do whatever I need to do, fucking die on the Stairmaster. And it's just, then you just fuck yourself up in the long run. And when you've only got a few years worth of competing, which in girls for general, 2 years, maybe 3 years if they're into it, yeah?
It's definitely a shelf life on the female side of things, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you're going to like spend another full year trying to recover from that just because you didn't take care of yourself and do the right steps to start with.
Think about it long term. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Like, if you just wait it out, you're going to feel so much better.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool, that was all the questions.
Is that all the questions?
We are done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, tag us on Instagram with the emoji. You choose the emoji.
The tash and the glasses.
Ah, you're probably going to go for that one, or the sword.
All the swords, yeah. The swords.
Tash and the glasses emoji with the sword.
Yeah. Tash glasses, double sword.
But yeah, thank you for that. I think you probably answered a lot of questions that people are too worried or too scared to talk about on the internet. So hopefully you guys found that valuable. And yeah, we're going to sign it off here. I'm sure we'll do an update on my prep at some point, because I'll be coming to see Dan regularly now that we are 5.5 weeks out.
Yeah, we'll get another one in before the show, definitely.
We'll get another one in before the show.
We'll maybe do some YouTubing then, if she lets me back on again.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Let us know what do you want to see before. What do you want to see before my show from me and Dan?
Yeah, because we're running out of ideas.
Don't tell them that. Over and out.